In this video, we'll be taking a look at gold, silver, and GBP-USD. So starting with the gold chart on the 1 hour time frame, we've had a nasty move to the upside and a very sharp decline towards the downside. And this was around a 20% drop on gold, right? So this is crazy for gold because gold is a very huge commodity, and to see massive decline like this simply means there's high volatility in the market, and we have to be careful with how we approach the gold market, right, to take those trades. So for now, this week we'll be focusing on what's happening over here to see if we can spot good trade opportunities for the week ahead. So right now we've had multiple bounce of this trend line, which coincides with this area of value, resistance, turn to support, which is where our massive move to the downside got stopped, right? So we got stopped at these price levels, which signifies that this is a very important area of value, which also saw us get a RSI towards the oversold level, right? So right now we've had a very good bounce consolidation, which gave a formation of a bullish flag, right? So this is a bullish flag, though we're coming from the bottom, right? But this is a bullish trend, right? So consolidation, flag pull, flag itself, nice breakout. For me, I've been in on this trade since last week Friday, I think, and my entries around these price levels. But for those who aren't in, you want to wait for some sort of consolidation over here like this to give you a tighter risk to reward ratio before you go higher. So if this happens, your entry can be placed after the breakout from that consolidation. Stop loss can be placed underneath the consolidation list of the breakout. First take profit target can be placed around these highs. Then you trail the rest of your positions as we go higher, right? So something else to watch out for is that gold may open up with a gap, right? When the market opens, we may get a gap, which may prevent us from getting those that trade opportunity, right? But that shouldn't stop you. So I'll be watching out for this resistance level as well. If we don't get a consolidation here to get a good opportunity to go long, then waiting to see what price does around this area of resistance could be another opportunity to look for an opportunity to go long, right? So something like this. So if this happens, we want to wait for a consolidation. So I'm just going to do this again. So we may get a pop into this area of resistance and a massive move to the downside, which will lead to a consolidation, right? So something like this followed by a good breakout. So if this happens, this can also be a good opportunity to go long. Stop loss placed underneath the consolidation list to the breakout, and your take profit target could be as high as these highs over here, right? So this will give us another decent opportunity to go long, right? So if you miss the opportunity to go long here, so if we don't get a consolidation, then a breakout from this area of resistance could be another opportunity to go long if the price action gold behaves as I expect, right? So this is it briefly for gold. At the moment, I don't think going short right now is the best decision to make, because trend is still bullish. We just bounced off of this area of value. Structure seems like we're going higher, so we trade according to what the chart shows at the moment. So if anything changes, I'm going to share those changes in my Discord, right? So if you're not part of our Discord, use the link in the description below to join our Discord. It's totally free. Moving on, we're talking about silver. So silver, similar chart to what we have on gold. Solid area of value over here. Nasty, price sweep. So grabbing liquidity all the way to this price level. So everyone who had longs around this area of support probably got wiped. And you can see on the 4 hour time frame, you can see how the bulls pushed the price straight up and closed above or between within this area of value, right? Support level. So this also creates some sort of a bullish divergence, right? So you can see price creating lower lows and our momentum indicator, which is the RSI, creating higher lows. So this is a very good bullish divergence in my opinion. And going down to the 1 hour time frame, you can just see how we created the bullish divergence and broke this trend line. You can see this mini trend line over here, right? So this is a very good example of how to trade bullish divergence. So break of structure, creating higher lows, and then we go long. But the thing is, volatility has been dampened a little because you can see the choppy price movement to the downside. But I think this week we may see some sort of activity in the market, which may see price going all the way high to these highs, consolidation, then probably going higher if the bullish trend is to stay alive, right? So briefly, to see how to spot good trade opportunity for this week, I'm currently not in on this trade, so I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity to go long. That could mean waiting for price to come up a little, giving me some sort of consolidation, and another breakout. So if this happens, then this will be my confirmation to go long. So just to show you something real quick, if you pull up a trend line from these highs towards these highs as well, you can see that this coincides with the current price action we have on charts. So if you take this area of resistance, so this is a mini resistance, the current highs towards the formation of the bullish divergence, then this will give you an opportunity to go long. So I'm just going to do this again. So we may get something like this, move into this area of resistance, consolidation, followed by a breakout to the upside. If this happens, then my entry is going to be placed after the breakout, stop loss placed underneath the consolidation list of the breakouts. First take profit target obviously is going to be around these highs, and I trade rest my positions as we go higher. So second take profit target is going to be around these highs, right? So this is exactly how I'm going to trade SIVA. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. I don't see any reason why you want to go short right now, and I don't see any clear opportunity to go short. So that's why I'm not talking about a sell trade opportunity here, right? Because the trend is still bullish. We've been, we held this area of support on the 4 hours time frame. So if you go back to the 4 hours, you can see very good hold up here with a dragonfly doji, right? So this means there's a good chance price pushes higher towards the upside, and because of the sharp decline we had here, we may get a sharp move towards the upside again if this trend is to stay alive, right? So I would stay away if we get a rejection from this area of resistance, falling back towards the downside, creating a lower low, right? But for now, this is how I'm going to trade SIVA, and I think it's the best approach towards trading these commodities at the moment, right? Just following the price action wherever it leads at the moment, because our bullish divergence is still active, and if we take out this area of resistance, that could see us getting higher price targets, right, and give us good opportunities to go long. That's it briefly for SIVA. Lastly, we'll be talking about GBP-USD. So GBP-USD 4 hours time frame as well. This one, we got a bounce of this trend line, which also coincides with an oversold level bounce on the RSI, right? So for me, I want to wait to see if we get a move towards the downside. So a move towards the downside to create a good base, followed by a move to the upside. So creating a good solid base for a reversal, that's what I'll be watching out for to go long on GBP-USD. So another reason why I'm thinking about going long is because we had these lower highs, right? So swing high, lower high, lower high. Now we just put in a higher high, right? So this means there's a good chance this bearish move towards the downside may be coming to an end, so change the market structure, which coincides with the overall trend, right? So over here you can see low, higher low, good base, then now trend is going to continue, right? So that's why I'm going to be watching out for a good formation of a base before we go long. I don't think I'll be going short on this one because we just bounced off this RSI, right? So you can see what happened here. So we got down here, went up like we are right now, then went down to create this base, right, before we went higher. So I'm watching out for something like this to give me a tighter risk to reward ratio before I consider going long. So something else to watch out for will be when we pull up our 200 EMA and 200 SMA, you can see that this retest of this area of resistance coincides with a retest of the moving average, right? 200 EMA, 200 SMA, which also coincides with a bounce off of the oversold level on the RSI. So many confluence here, and I want to see this reversal to the downside, a consolidation around this base to form a low, then look for opportunities to go higher, right? So one last thing is, if you pull up a trend line taking its highs, you can see that this almost guarantees a consolidation within this space here before we probably break to go higher, right? So that's it briefly for this week's analysis. Right now there's no clear opportunity to go long, because if you want to go long at the moment, then it means you have to go long right now. Stop loss probably placed around here, which will be 100 pips stop loss, or 110 pips, which is too wide in my opinion. But if you wait for a consolidation, right, so a base formation, so a movement towards the downside like this, then this could give you a tighter risk to reward ratio, right? So which means your entry can be placed around this price level, stop loss can be placed underneath that consolidation, which will probably be around 60 pips LCL, which is decent in my opinion, and a potential take profit target of 200 to 300 pips as the case may be. So that's a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 5, 1 to 4, which is decent in my opinion, right? So that's it briefly for this week's analysis. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you're not part of our Discord community yet, use the link in the description below to join our Discord. It's totally free, Right, that's it from me this week, guys. See you next week.